Hello, everyone. Let's see. So, I've been working with a lot of different AI tools, and as I've mentioned in the previous video, uh, I'm using AI for both, like, to improve my own productivity, but also in automations and that kind of thing that I'm doing. And so I'm always looking for something that's really intuitive and and kind of easy to use. Because hey, why make a tool that's hard to use? So I wanted to show you guys Poppy. It's a tool I've been using for a couple months. I've been talking to different folks at the company. They're super responsive company. I've jumped on recorded Loom calls and jumped on Google Hangouts and that kind of thing with a couple of the folks on the team. So I wanted to show you kind of what Poppy is and give you some ideas on what you can do. Along the way, I'm probably going to toss in a few other tools, um, but we'll see how it goes. So my thought for today, let me think. Let's see. So I'm thinking maybe a cool example might be what happened yesterday. My wife's car had a check engine light that came on. So it's like, oh no. Okay, what do we do? Are we going to just take it to the shop and hey, let us know what's going to happen? What's wrong with this thing? Or do I use my handy dandy OBD device to plug in and find out what that check engine light is? So, okay. So I took my wife's thing because she has one. That's cool. I have one too, but I thought that was impressive. So, yeah, so it took hers. I plugged it into the little adapter and under the dashboard and got some codes. So I'm going to show you a few things. So I'm going to go to my little window here. And you probably can't see that, but that's okay. I'm going to drag it onto the screen. So I'm starting here. So here's my board. And I'm going to call this board up here. I'm going to give it a name. Toyota troubleshooting. And if I could spell right, that would be an E right there. Yeah, should look good. Okay. So here's a little picture I took of the code. All right. So I dropped that on my board. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, you can upload things to ChatGPT and Perplexity and that kind of thing, but you can just kind of see this here on my board. So let's see. So I'll say this is the code from my car. And let's say I didn't know how to use this thing. So what can I do? Maybe I can do a search. Here's a search I was doing before. Let's do another one. Videos on that. All right, so let's say this guy looks
What's up, guys?
interesting. All right, got that guy. And again, I'm trying to just do a little quick knowledge base here. So I'm going to paste that in. And the video is going to come right onto the board. And what Poppy is doing now is it's scanning the video, looking at the transcript, getting it ready for me to ask questions about. And I thought I saw another one there, so I'll grab another one too. So this guy looks pretty trustworthy.
Hi, I'm Ben.
All right.
Lots of folks complain these
Vin.
days that
Okay, we're going to stop Vin. All right, so I'm going to copy that in. All right, so I have a few things about my OBD tool. The only reason I really got this is because I have a Mini Cooper, and Mini Coopers are known to break down. So the guy at the shop was like, you better get a scanner so you know what's going on with your car because you're going to see me a lot. So here it is. So I'm putting all the ones that are related to the scanner in this group. So I can kind of group the content. All right, and I'll call this OD. Cool. So I got my info about the scanner. So I think I need some info about the codes. So let me go look real quick at Perplexity. Can you give me scanner? Okay. So I'm going to just grab some of the first resources it gives me. All right. Known as a diagnostic tool. Oh, that's pretty good information. Look at that. So what if I just want to take a few things? I want to take the information from the results here. And actually, look at this. There's this PO301 cylinder misfire. That looks familiar. And I'll show you where I got that from before. But I'm going to copy this, go back to my little Poppy board, and let's say I got that text. So I just want to pop that text right in there. That's probably good for now. All right, so I have some information, some sources about where to find those. And oh, look at that. Look at that. The best free ODB2 code databases online. That should be helpful. Let's look at the Auto Doctor. All right, let's go to the Auto Doctor, and I grab that website. And I'm just going to paste a link on the board. All right, maybe I'll do another group for ODB code information. So I'll toss that in there. I'll toss this in there. All right. So then that group is there. It's got some code information. Let's just put it down here. And I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can zoom and, so that you can get more space on the board, move it around. All right. So I have some information about the codes, how to use the scanner. Now, I think I need information about the car. So let's look at some common problems. That might be interesting.
Hello and welcome.
All right, so we got a common Toyota problem. Let's do another group. I don't know. I just like groups. So I'm going to paste that in there. So that's going into so now it's in there.
Check engine light and
There we go. So I'm going to click that one, bring that in. All right. So that is going in. Let's make sure that's inside. Yeah. All right, cool. So I have some information about those two items. So I'm kind of pulling that together. And so far, so good. Now, let's start talking to this information. So I'm going to bring in a chat window. There we go. Make that a little bigger. And zoom in a little bit so you could see. So I'm going to pull some information over from this guy to the chat window, which means now the chat window can see the information. So I'm adding knowledge to the chat window, specific knowledge, not just any knowledge. Because obviously you could just, Perplexity or Google on the internet and find out anything you want. But here I want to kind of narrow down where I'm getting my information. So let's give this a try. So it's thinking, yeah, and it's using Claude 4 right now, but I can change that model to anything that's on the list, and I'll show you in a minute. So here it's got some, locate the port. It's basically showing me how to use it. Once has four main buttons, enter, scroll up and down. Okay, so I know how to use it now. So it actually jumped ahead because it actually knows that I had a code P0302, which is actually what was displayed on the scanner. So it's cheating a little bit. So it knows what the code is, and it's already told me, hey, it's a cylinder 2 misfire detected. All right, pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, you could probably still do this just with Google and Perplexity. So let's see what else we can do. So let's say I have a couple companies that I'm interested in working with. So let's go look. Like I'm in Colombia, so Hillmouth is pretty popular in Colombia. So I have a couple auto dealers. Repair shops. Show you. I'm going to disconnect this. So I've already gotten the information. So I'm disconnecting them. If you think about, like, when you're working with any LLM or chat model, the context window is pretty important. Basically, the context window is how much content you're sending in each request and how much you get back. So if I already have the information I need, there's no need to continue sending information. So now I want to kind of get some common sense information on, like, talking to my mechanic. So back in the day on NPR, there was a show called Click and Clack, the car guys. So I did some looking around, and it's pasting in here. And if I zoom in a bit, you can see there's the Car Talk site. So first, I want to kind of know what information, I'll put this over here. What information is good to know before I go talk to my mechanic about my cylinder 2 misfire that was detected for my Toyota Corolla? Okay, I'm going to hit enter. So it's only going, and it's looking here on the Car Talk site. So let's just see what Car Talk does. All right. So, okay, make model. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. Likely check. So you're going to check the spark plugs, ignition coils. All right. That's useful. Oops. Money saving tips. There we go. Ask for a diagnostic estimate up front. Many shops charge $100, $150. Okay. Pretty cool. All right. So this information all came from the Car Talk site. All right. So I trust them. Good information. I actually built an agent the other day that helps me analyze companies. So I'm going to bring that up real quick. The site called Relevance AI. And it's a super cool site you can use to build agents. But I have an agent on here called Company Research. And I'm going to just use it right now. And I'll do a future video on how I made this. I'm going to drop in the URL to this site. I'm going to ask it to run that tool. While it's running, I'll give you a quick little overview. This is sort of a tangent, but it'll make sense in a second. Let's just take a quick look at it. So the company research tool. So basically, I'm taking in the URL as input. I'm doing a web crawl using this cool tool called Firecrawl Web Scraper to get the information from the site, and I'm sending it to my LLM. All right, so here's the information I'm sending in. It's crawling the site. I have an LLM that says, hey, can you please take this website content and summarize it into a 300-word natural language summary? So that's what's happening in the background. So now I just have to go find the tool. Oh, look at that. That was quick. So here's the answer. I have some information about BM Auto Services. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it on my board as well. So I have their sites. So let's make a group for these two. Actually, I'm going to make a group for like the shops I'm going to take it to, my car. So actually, let's make that a little bigger. I'm going to drop the website directly in, but I'm also going to take the summary that I just got from my tool, BM Auto. All right. And I had another one. So now this is a tool that I can use for any agent I'm building. So if I build an agent and I need a tool to go research a company, I can make an API call to this tool. So business owners out there and folks who are like, why is this useful for my company? Well, when you build agents, they're kind of like, they're your assistants that you can then give tools to. So it's like if you hire somebody and you give them Word and Excel and the web browser to do their job, you can build an agent and say, hey, here's a tool to go research companies. So that's basically kind of how you think of tools with agents. So actually, I'm using this tool with a form, but I could just as easily call this with something called an application program interface, an API. So not doing that today, but let's drag another text thingy in here. technical term. There we go. So, all right. Hope you're not dizzy now. Okay, so I disconnected all that. So I already have some good advice here. So I'm going to just link and let me change the model. Let's do like Gemini 2 Pro. All right. So I'm going to say, based on the information above about the best ways to like talk to my mechanic, please analyze the 2 auto shops that I have connected. Let me know which shop might be the best one to go to. So I'm going to hit enter. Gave me a little summary about Hillmouth, strengths for my situation, certified technicians, all the stuff. Potential consideration of multi-location. Okay, it has multiple locations. BM, strengths for my situation. Giving you a recommendation at the bottom. For your specific situation, a diagnostic issue where trust and clear communication are key. Ooh, so this one won out. That happened to be the one my wife picked, so good for her. All right. That's a long story. That said, okay, let's see. Hillmouth is also very strong. All right, that's good. So now I have an answer for where I want to go. Cool. And then let's say I want to go back to find out one other thing before I go to the shop. And again, I don't need to go to their shop information anymore because see, I'm pulling information that I sucked in about the actual shops. So I want to get rid of that connection, and it's connected here to my chat. So I'm going to get rid of that connection. And I'm going to say, let's go back over to Card Talk. Now, so I could have left, Card Talk, that source connected. But again, I wanted to reduce the amount of content in the context window, even though I just switched to Gemini 2.5, which has a huge context window. So didn't need to do that actually. But you can also keep the chat super focused by rotating in the knowledge you want it to use. So there, I reconnected it. And let's say I'm going to use my little whisper. What is the price range I should expect for this kind of repair with the second cylinder and potentially fixing that? So there it is. And if you aren't aware or are familiar with a tool called Whisper Flow, that's what I just used. Of course, if you have a Mac, you can just say start listening. That works just as well. But Whisper Flow is pretty cool. It keeps a log of all your chats and makes it really easy to interface with your computer. So let's see what it's doing down here. So I've used all the different tools that I pulled in, or resources, or knowledge that I pulled into the board, and at different times decided which ones I wanted to use to keep the chat context window super small, but yet shift in and out the things I wanted to use in a super visual way. So one last thing I wanted to show you. Let's say, okay, I have this all set up, and I'm gonna just plug everything back in, and I'm gonna leave Gemini as the model, the LLM, and I'll pull this over. I want to make this a little data source or knowledge source for other apps, or maybe a workflow that I want to use, where I want to use this as a potential tool. So let's say I want to have another agent that wants to have a tool that can just go investigate car issues. All right. So I've just connected everything here. And all right, so let's say I want to use this in a flow. So I'm going to jump into N8N here. I already had one called car issues. So let's get started. I think, there's not much going on there. So we're going to start with on form submission, and I'm going to go quick with this. So form title, car information, and then let's add a form element. Let's do make, And then we'll leave that text. Let's make it required. Let's do model. Add that element. What else do we want? If you have a code, actually the model is required too, but the OBD code is going to be optional because, many people don't have that device in their pocket or in their glove compartment. So all good. What else do we need? Let's see, since you're maybe comparing auto shops, let's just say you have a couple auto shops. So we'll say auto shop one. That's super. And we'll just get the URL. We don't need the name. We'll leave that not required. And let's just do auto shop two. So I'm doing this as a quick demo, but this could be a knowledge base. This could be all of your SOPs for your business that you drop into the board and create that really quick knowledge base. I mean, like 10, 15 minutes, drop it all in, link it all up to that chat. Then come over to a tool like N8N or MindFlow. I'll show you that another video, and come in and create, a flow that uses your board as a tool. So I think that's all the information I think I need. Let's go out of here and save it this time. All right, so I have my form. Let's execute. So let's see. Toyota Corolla. Boom. All right. So the workflow executed, all is good. So now I want to go add another mode, and we're going to do a HTTP request because we're going to go use our board as the data source. So I'm going to go back to Poppy. I'm going to highlight this chat, click on API, and the conversation. Okay, so when you do an API call here, you can either use this as a knowledge base. So you can use it as a specific chat. So if you wanted to just get only the information that's in this chat, you could get the conversation and just have the call go get information from your conversation. Or if you want to use everything knowledge base only, then you use this. So I'm going to do the post side. All right, I'm going to copy. And I'm going to come in to N8N. I'm going to change this to post. Plug that in. That's my API key, so I'm blurring that out. And my question. There we go. So that's in there. And you can see that. All right, submit. Form submitted. Let's go back. Oh, you gotta love that when it's not running. So let's go back one more time. And you know what? With WhisperFlow, there we go. That's a good one. There we go. See, WhisperFlow helped me out. Submit. Form submitted. So now, here we go. So there's the content, question, all the stuff. All right, so let me just pin this because I don't want to have to keep doing that over and over again. So you can pin your data and keep it for testing for the next steps. So now I'm on the HTTP request. So as I'm doing the parameters prompt, I want to come in and take my question, boom, add it right there. So that is good. So it has my question because the API is new on Poppy. Before it had just the interface, with just the interface. It's a super nice interface, but the API piece of their tool is kind of new. It's only like a month old. All right, so let's execute the step. Ready? Let's see what happens. Well, you know what? Because save. I'm gonna save that, and yeah, let's execute the step. Let's just go for it. So I can open it, or I could have just hit the arrow, but let's do execute step. Your request is invalid or cannot be processed by the surface. Why is that? So prompt, please help me, blah, blah. And what's the error code? 422, other info. Service. Send body. Here's my issue. Model. My bad. All right. So I think we're good now. So let's try it. So it is going to Poppy. It's grabbing the information. It's submitting my question. I'm actually not using the Autoshop 1 and 2. Well, that's interesting. You see, it only brought back my the BM and then the Hillmouth because that was already in the board. So that's interesting. So basically, the only thing that my HTTP request posted to Poppy was the question. And since the board had all of the information about my misfire, I didn't even send in the misfire code. So basically, again, this is just testing the API. I could have made this a little more in depth, and actually instead of just the prompt, the question, I could have sent along the URLs, the code, the make and model, and then Poppy would have had more information to either go get a different code and all the stuff. So, but you can see here's the output from Poppy. All right. So it gives me the money saving information. So that's all. So basically I can use this, and let's say I just want to finish up and email this back to me. So let's just finish it up with a Gmail and send a message. Do my Mark Lucas info. From the message, I'll just say, here's the text. Now, I'd obviously want to format this so it looks nice and everything. But just to do this quick, let's execute. Looks like it sent the email. Okay, so I'm going to save the whole thing. But yeah, basically I have a super simple flow, a form. Here it's going to go call Poppy, and then the results are going to get emailed to me. Here are your results. Wow, the format is awesome. But you get the idea. Very cool. Possibilities are endless, and it's super simple to put together this knowledge base for you to use. All right. If you guys want to check this out yourselves, and you enjoyed my video, you can use the exact link below because I'll get a little discount from my current subscription if you guys sign up with that link. Or if you don't want to support me, just cut it off and just use poppy.ai and you can get to it that way as well. All right. So I hope to do some more videos coming up, and just let me know what you thought and what you think of Poppy, and maybe some ideas on what you think you might be able to do with this tool. In the future, I'm going to talk to you about another tool called Mind Studio. More to come on this. One other thing. I'm showing you tools like Poppy, like Mind Studio, N8N, right? I even showed you relevance. Point I want to make is this is not about just tools. I want to kind of let you see for yourselves that the tools are getting easier and easier to use. So do not think that if you want to implement AI in your business or your job, that you have to be a tech whiz to take advantage of AI. You kind of just need to know what you're trying to make easier or automate, and then kind of just do a quick query of what the latest tools are that can get you to where you need to go. And definitely start small. I mean, this is super small. I basically started with a code, whatever that code was, of error code and I built a little solution around it. It's not the tools, it's the solution you're trying to or the process you're trying to automate or make easier for yourself. Don't get hung up on the tools. Let me give you one example. N8N. I don't have the version yet that has basically the chat window. This is an assistant for error, finding your errors. But there's a chat window coming that'll just let you vibe code N8N flows. So all the stuff I was doing in here, it'll do it automatically. Coming soon to a version near you. So don't worry about, oh my goodness, the tools are so complex. Just worry about your solution, what you want to automate, and start small. All right. Thanks.